Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Baltimore Ravens and the Washington Commanders. All that and more coming up next.
We are just inside the Beltway, about 10 miles east of the Capitol Dome, as we come to you from Commanders Field here in Landover, Maryland. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Now, Charles, you and I, we've done a lot of games together. Always seems like we're rehashing the same storylines. Turnovers, of course, always a big story. Quarterback play, running backs, yada, yada, yada. But getting ready for this one word kept coming to mind, and that's preparation.
Well, it's critical to be prepared physically, mentally. When you think about getting ready for an NFL game, you have to wonder, what will they throw at us that maybe we haven't seen before? 2-minute drill, maybe different things like that. Got to be prepared. You're exactly right.
It's the Battle of the Beltway. Baltimore and Washington are underway. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So out comes the Washington offense onto the field. Leading them out, their young quarterback, the rookie from LSU.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now, because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
They'll run for the first time here with Brian Robinson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Daniels looking to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down. That is the big fella, Nnamdi Madubuike, forcing his way in. He comes up with a sack. But just 2 plays in, and Charles already their first sack defensively.
Yeah, how about that? That didn't take long, did it? And now they look at third down, and that's another time to try and go and get the quarterback too.
A miserable start here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and very long. To the air goes Daniels. And this is going to be incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
Here's Tressway now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Now a fair catch taken just across midfield, maybe by a yard or 2. A number 8, Lamar Jackson, trotting onto the field at quarterback, ready to lead this Ravens offense.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
Jackson. They set up the screen for Henry. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
And that's not a play that you see all that often at the start of a drive, but some teams, they don't mind doing it. And that one, well sold by the offensive lineman. They showed the pass, and then they got out into space, able to get some good blocks downfield and allow the play to be successful.
On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
From the 31, here's a 2nd and 9. To throw is Jackson. Completes it to Aguilar. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 18. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll, and now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
In motion right is Aguilar. And he'll get an opportunity with it on the touch pass. Oh, and that is well read defensively. A great job of setting the edge, and that little touch pass is going to turn into a loss. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Here's Jackson. A slant route caught by Bateman. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's 3rd and 4 now. Well, safe to say the passing game has found a rhythm. He's now 4 of 4, but might need to be 5 of 5 to keep this drive going here as they face a 3rd down.
And maybe perhaps you show a running play, right? Maybe a little play action here to go ahead and let him throw the ball downfield. I wouldn't get away from him flinging it because 4 for 4 already. I think he's got a good chance of picking this one up here on 3rd down.
And Jackson throwing once more. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on 3rd down. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game, and nice pass there. And now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal line and not cash in. They've got something dialed up here that puts it in the end zone.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
They'll give Henry another shot. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Derrick Henry taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Ravens are on the board first here this afternoon.
And you can forgive this defense just a bit here. They know how dangerous Lamar Jackson is running the football. Stopping him is in many ways a prime concern. So here, they're late to react to the handoff on the option, and it costs them as this winds up a touchdown.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And the Ravens lead at 7-0. So that drive in total 8 plays. And Derrick Henry able to finish it off with a touchdown run. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Commanders going to retake the field for drive number 2. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Now 2nd and 3. Throwing now is Daniels. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. The veteran Kyle Van Noy in there to drop him. We had a pretty good idea that they were going to pressure this young quarterback, and that's now 2 sacks here in the first quarter.
And, yeah, this is a secret to exactly nobody, because if you're a rookie quarterback, you know you're going to see pressure. Defenses want to see how you're going to handle it, or if it forces you into making bad decisions. That's their goal.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. Here's Daniels. Here's a screen for Robinson. He's got room past the 30, and he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds.
And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat and has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you've got to fool them. Screen passes like that can take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from our nation's capital, and it's Washington in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. To throw is Daniels. That's to McCaffrey, complete. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
From the 44 now, here's 2nd and 4. Play action, now it's Daniels. He's going to drop this underneath for Robinson, and he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And this will be caught by Brown. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. This is Ertz on the pitch and catch. First target, first catch, and a 1st down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Now 2nd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. Ertz over the middle. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 17-yard line. 11 more yards there, and this methodical drive continues.
How about a nod to the sequence of plays they're putting together here? This has been death by 1,000 paper cuts on this drive. But this is one of their best plays yet, and they're able to move it down into the red zone.
They'll bring a tight end in motion right. They go play action. Daniels. He's got it. Touchdown, Commanders. Noah Brown from 17 yards out. And the Commanders are an extra point away from evening this one up. Well, with this rookie QB, we talk a lot about his ball placement and how good he can be at laying it right in there. I think we just saw, Charles, though, the strength of that arm. That was an absolute rifle for the completed touchdown.
It absolutely was, and let's face it. You think he was really ready to get that first touchdown? Absolutely. He threw that pass with authority, just as you described. Big-time arm right there, and let's face it, a lot of quarterbacks used to be pitchers in baseball. The fastball was usually their best pitch, and we saw it there.
Extra point by Seibert, up and good, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Baltimore set to take over here for their second possession of the game. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one.
Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. 2nd and 10. Jackson now. Looking for Bateman. He's got him complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
And a lot of being a defender is being able to learn what you can and can't get away with when in man coverage. In this case, he got away with it and helped pop that ball free.
Now it's 2nd and 10. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long. Now it's Jackson. Throw out wide is incomplete.
Now that's a good bounce back after giving up a touchdown on the opening drive. Just 1 first down permitted and then out. Obviously no loss of confidence with that defense, and now they get to turn it back to their offense.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head to the locker room. 7-7 our score. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic. No need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us. Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd down and 9. In motion, Aguilar. A quick pass out to Aguilar. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. Here's Jackson to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
So much of this game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
Third quarter, all tied up. This is 2nd and 10. Now Jackson. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
Well, as we all know, possessions are crucial in a tie game, and let's face it, I really didn't need to tell you that. You already knew it. So when he sees he's got nothing good going, an excellent decision to just send that one to the sideline.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Again, Jackson. Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
And there, even if you've got to take something off that throw so that he slows down to catch it, that's far more preferable than what happened there. A big miss on what should have been a touchdown.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he'll get credit for putting him inside the 20 as the fair catch is made right at about the 19-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Robinson here. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Now Daniels. Got a man. It's Brown. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Robinson with another carry. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
But you've got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Here's 3rd and 7. Daniels looking to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Offensively, lucky there, able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
It's a 46-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now, what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
Now it's Jackson. That's complete to his receiver, Bateman. Jackson to Bateman there for the Baltimore first. Off the option, here's Henry. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner. So the scoring dried up here in the 3rd. Nothing that quarter for either side. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Commanders Field. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down.
And partner, in a tie game in the 4th quarter, you and I both know in the NFL, that's when you lean on your stars, and he came through with a nice catch right there.
From Commanders territory now, it's 1st and 10, right at the 40. Running from the gun with Henry. Fights through, and now a crease. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Every player I know tends to play the game in his mind before it actually happens. There's no way he thought that at this stage of the game, this would be his first big run like that.
Yeah, but it's got to feel for him like the floodgates open, a sigh of relief. Now we'll see if things can open up for him.
See if it can continue.
They keep it with Henry on 1st down. The broken tackle could not free him as he's brought down at the 10-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Again, it's Henry. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. To throw is Jackson. They set up the screen for Henry. And I don't think he got there, no. Geez, short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
Boy, that was certainly well read defensively. And the key to any screenplay is space to work. And there was none to be found there. And they tackle him for just a short gain.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to break our 4th quarter tie. Tucker's kick is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7. So he waited on the sideline for his first chance in the ball game, and it didn't come until the 4th quarter, but he connects there, a big one to give him the lead.
Boy, you talk about coming in cold. I don't care how many times you kick it into a net. You're not really ready when you go out there and all that beef is coming at you trying to block the kick. Big spot, and he delivers.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. Washington ready to try again on offense. And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. He'll get this out wide to Eckler. And he goes out right around the 39. A gain of 8 there on the play, and it'll be 2nd and a couple. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
Now this airmail to the sideline. It's incomplete. There don't appear to be any flags forthcoming. Maybe a little fortunate there. It's 3rd down. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. To the air goes Daniels. He spins free. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down. Well, there you go. Save your best scramble of the day for a big-time situation in the 4th quarter, picking up the first.
You don't want to use it up early, right? You want to make sure you save it for that exact moment, that key time, and that's what he did, although you and I both know it wasn't planned that way. But what a nice job using his eyes, scanning the field, and realizing when it was time to exit the pocket and go.
And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Commanders football as we get back to it. Here's 2nd down and 3. Throwing now is Daniels. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 34-yard line.
Pardon, you got to like what they're doing right there. Little by little, they're getting closer. Another good pickup.
Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. He'll look to throw. He dumps it to Eckler underneath. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
Here's 2nd down. They'll look to throw. That's caught, and it's Eckler again. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28.
Oh, I know it goes against the grain here. It totally goes against it, but you've got to drop the ball in that situation. He makes a catch, but he loses yards and doesn't get out of bounds.
An important one here, no doubt. 3rd and 4. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter.
Let's go, man. He's weak. Bring it. Let's go now. Let's go. I know you have.
2 timeouts still at their disposal. Here's a 1st and 10 now. He's back to throw. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Boy, here's a big one. You can just feel it. This is third down now. Back to throw. Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Picked up by Brandon Stevens. And the Ravens have just about sewn up this football game. Third and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him, and what I mean by that is what you said, third and long, got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation, and they took advantage of the young man right there.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
We got to have two hands on the football here as they run on first down. And now Washington going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And he has the Ravens first down, and it would appear that that's going to be the one to do it. Well, obviously, Charles, this was by no means an offensive track meet. I mean, the defenses were the story in this ball game, but hey, they got enough points to get the job done, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
You're absolutely right about that, partner. In such a low-scoring game, it completely changes everything you had planned to do out there. Fortunately for them, they got just enough scoring to bring home the win, and in this type of a game, to play their defense, that became one of their biggest keys.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from Landover.